alignment, repetition, contrast, and space. An artist needs to be responsible for all these aspects. Good design involves proper planning and organizing, in addition to having the knowledge of good visual design principles to construct it. Today's topic of discussion is path-breaking design strategies designed for the future. And we have an esteemed panel with us. To start with, we have Abhishek Raniwala, co-founder and creative director of Raniwala 1881. Abhishek has earned a master's in communication and advertising from Symbiosis. He's schooled from Mayo College, Ajmer. Abhishek has pursued his passion for jewelry, went to Russia to know more about diamonds and mining, and later he set up Raniwala 1881 in Jaipur. With his vision to create a demand for handcrafted Jadao jewelry, he succeeded to do it in every single style. Abhishek has created a ready-to-wear Jadao line now, presently, and a series of accessories, which is the first of its kind in handcrafted Jadao jewelry category today. He's also collaborated with and launched a line of fashion jewelry, designer jewelry with the big designer Manish Malhotra.
Okay.
We also have with us another Abhishek, who is an Abhishek Rastogi. Abhishek heads the design for jewelry division at Titan for the last 12 years. He has been instrumental in defining the design strategy for Tanishq, Mia, and Zoya. He started his career as an accessory design graduate from NIFT. Abhishek's passion for crafts and beautiful handcrafted jewelry today, along with his talented team of young designers, Abhishek creates ethnic and regionally relevant collections for rural markets and upscale and groundbreaking jewelry for the urban markets. His magic is highly reflective in the growth of the company, has witnessed year on year. His work at Tanishq has garnered various prestigious awards to him. Our next panelist, Mr. Laksh Pahuja, is indeed a brilliant creator, an innovator, has captured the minds with his gifted imagination and creativity. His designs have been recognized globally and have adorned beautiful ladies, including Miss Universe 2005 Natalie Glebova, Aishwarya Rai, Malaika Arora, Bipisha Basu, Pooja Bedi, and many others. Trained at GIA, Harrow College of Art, England, Laksh surely knows how to put to his use his innate abilities. Laksh's every creation is truly a magnum opus and has his signature to it. His motto has been to craft unique jewelry and unusual pieces, something that is a one of a kind and stands out from the contemporary jewelry which is crafted today. Laksh has to his credit a very large list of awards that has been bestowed upon him. And if I start reading them, probably I'll need another 1 hour for that. He has designed and made some very rare, very unusual, very exclusive jewelry pieces of art that could stun the likes of any jeweler in the world. We have with us also Sonali Shah Sheth, is a name to reckon with in the Indian fine jewelry space. She has won numerous awards, felicitated for her entrepreneurial achievements. A gemologist and a CAD/CAM graduate from GIA, a design and manufacturing graduate from JDM SMDT Mumbai, and a luxury management graduate from the prestigious IIM Ahmedabad. Sonali has a rare combination of skills that span from design to manufacturing to marketing. She runs a brand Sphere with her family members. Her signature collections have a universal appeal and have garnered the loyalty of her customers from India, abroad, and they are retailed also through some of the topmost jewelry houses in the country. We then have Shweta Ranka, who's a young and a dynamic personality who has done a master's in international business innovation from Barcelona Executive Business School, Spain, and has a list of certificates on various skills of our industry and has received so many accolades for all her achievements. Sweta is presently the head of online education at IGI New Delhi and is a great personality and a wonderful speaker. The moderator for today is Gunjan Suri. Born in Mumbai, Gunjan is an award-winning jewelry designer and a qualified gemologist, specialized in jewelry design and manufacture from JDM PB Polytechnic, SNDT University, Mumbai. She was trained by Gavin and Elizabeth from the Royal College of Art, UK at the SNDT. She has won multiple awards in jewelry competitions and led her to be acknowledged by the SNDT University as one of the most aspiring designers in the jewelry industry. She was part of so many panels of juries to judge design and jewelry competitions. She started writing and conducting seminars on design thinking and innovation. Today, she's contributing columnist to various jewelry and fashion magazines and is a well-known motivational speaker too. With an experience of 18 years in designing conceptual jewelry, she has recently launched her own company, Gunjan Suri Couture Jewels, and also runs a specialized design studio boasting of acclaimed national and international brands, design services for them. Friends, we have 90 minutes for this webinar, 15 minutes for questions and answers at the end. I request all to keep your laptops and mobiles on the video off mode for a better quality reception due to network weakness. And over to you, Gunjan. Kindly request you to start your presentation.
Thank you, Ashok Bhai. Thank you so much. So a very warm welcome and a big hi to everyone listening to this webinar today and to the organizers for putting up such a brilliant series of webinars. So the topic, as we all know, for today's seminar is path-breaking design strategies designed for the future. Now, I'm sure we are able to relate to this particular topic since the world is experiencing a drastic change. And in these trying times, the world is going through, design on the whole will play a crucial role in the future. Everything will be the same, I believe, but the parameters are sure to drift, maintaining harmony with nature. The level of awareness that the onset of 2020 has brought in with it will go down in history and will bring about some significant path-breaking strategies that are here to stay. We will start associating design guidelines with certain values, respect sentiments, retell stories, dig in evidences, and so on. The list is never ending. It will become crucial that we start about thinking how a story told earlier can be retold, since our consumers will be starving and they will crave for a holistic value of their product. The factors that will take predominance will be based on the following values that will significantly change the design scene, as it is known that design is the pillar of any product. And that's why investing time and effort in something like this is a fantastic approach by the organizers, and I'm sure this will yield amazing results. So beginning the session, let's start this session with a very important question, which I would like every panelist to answer. What are the 3 inputs that you would like to give the audience with regards to path-breaking design strategies? Any 3 ideas? And I would like Sonali to begin this with her slide presentation.
Hi, everybody.
If you can do a little combination of Hindi, English.
Sorry?
A little combination of Hindi, English
makes possible.
Yeah, of course, don't worry. So first of all, a very big thank you to Ashok Uncle and all the panelists. We are gathered here for a very discussion that is very, very close to my it's my topic of research. I just thought that since I have this opportunity, and Gunjan had already asked me about this 3 points, so I have prepared a little presentation to share with all of you. So I will just start the presentation. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so the 3 points ये जो है वो मैं सवाल करना चाहती हूँ 3, क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री के सब दिग्गज यहाँ पे इस वेबिनार में they attend this webinar. तो 3 क्वेश्चन ऐसे हैं जो कि अपने आप में आंसर्स भी हैं. तो यहाँ पे जितनी बार डिजाइन की बात होती है हम लोग बोलते हैं कि एक स्टोरी होनी चाहिए. तो डू यू हैव अ स्टोरी टू टेल, और आपकी स्टोरी कहाँ से शुरू होती है? आप once we have discussed this with अशोक अंकल की कई बार ज्वेलर्स या ज्वेलरी मैन्युफैक्चरर्स भी अपना कॉन्सेप्ट बनाने के बाद then they are when मार्केटिंग की बात आती है तब जाके स्टोरी क्रिएट करने जाते हैं. I wanted to give a little example here that I had done last year, and I'll just show you the design process और उसका time frame. It took me 8 months from start to finish. अब ये आप एक सोचने की बात है, कई सवाल उठेंगे कि whether it is profitable or not, but let me show you how a design does not cost but it pays. So this is a small collection that I designed. मैं टर्की गई थी और टर्की के ट्रिप में वहाँ के आर्ट और आर्किटेक्चर से मैं बहुत इंस्पायर हुई थी. And I took photographs, I wrote poems on it. और फिर वहाँ से आने के बाद I made a project which is called मिरास, यानी कि धरोहर. और वहाँ के मुझे जो अट्रैक्ट किया कि वहाँ मॉडर्न टर्की भी है और एक ट्रेडिशनल टर्की भी है. तो उन दोनों एलिमेंट्स को कंबाइन करके I made lot of sketches, and then I came up with this concept कि मैं टर्की को एक विमेन के साथ, मॉडर्न विमेन के साथ कंपेयर करती हूँ, because this collection was for a modern women. When we are talking about कि customer, you should know your target customer and then design. So customer भी mind में था, concept भी mind में था, और उन दोनों का एक parallel किया कि it is for the modern day women. तो 18 कैरेट गोल्ड में जब हम बात करते हैं तो हम ट्रेडिशनल ही सोचते हैं. इवन 22 कैरेट में मैंने इस बार 18 और 14 में जाने की कोशिश की और एक बहुत ही मॉडर्न लैंग्वेज करने की कोशिश की कि जो आजकल हमारा पहनावा भी चेंज हो गया था, तो उस हिसाब से some jewelry that would go with your normal everyday parties or semi formal occasions. So this was the collection that came out of it. अब ये why I want to share this with you is I want to share कि ये डिजाइन जर्नी किस तरह की थी. एक बार एक डिजाइन बन गई तो वहाँ हम रुकते नहीं हैं, उसके काफी सारे वर्जन्स बनाए, ठीक है, बेस्ड ऑन द आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर ऑफ टर्की. उसके बाद क्या होता है when we go out and we see the market.
This is regarding Sphere and Sonali in particular. I was looking out for temple jewelry, but this new collection of us which is into enamel, right? It's an excellent, it just took off my eyes from temple jewelry and I got into this. Thank you so much. Beautiful design.
तो मैं क्या कहना चाहती हूँ कि आप डिजाइन के परसेप्शन को कैसे बदल सकते हैं, आप कैसे एक कस्टमर के बाइंग डिसीजन को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हैं जस्ट बाय डिजाइन. एंड देन इट अगेन डजंट स्टॉप देयर. ऑफ कोर्स प्रॉफिट हो गया, वी हैव सोल्ड दैट कलेक्शन, बट आफ्टर दैट ऑल्सो वंस एक डिजाइन कलेक्शन अगर आपने बहुत डीपली उसको सोचा है और बनाया है तो वो काफी और भी आपको उसके बाद भी आपको फायदा देता रहेगा ना. अब मैं वो दिखाना चाहती हूँ. सो दिस इज एक कंपटीशन, आर्टिसन अवार्ड्स का लास्ट ईयर हमें मेल आया था कि आप इस्लामिक आर्किटेक्चर पे डिजाइन भेजिए, तो मैंने उन्हीं कॉन्सेप्ट्स को थोड़ा ट्वीक किया. अब ये स्लाइड इसलिए जरूरी है कि ट्वीक जब हम करते हैं तो इतना का भी डिफरेंस में देखते हैं कि क्या बेटर लगेगा क्या. तो एक डिजाइन एक्सपर्टीज की ये होती है कि कितना डीप आप जाते हो फॉर्म और फंक्शन को क्रिएट करने के लिए. आप ये भी देखते हैं कि पूरी डिजाइन इट्स नॉट जस्ट फ्रंट फेस से नहीं, पीछे से आगे से, इट्स एवरीवेयर. वी हैव टेकन केयर दैट ऑल द डिजाइन एलिमेंट्स आर इन प्लेस. And then, of course, I was, fortunate enough to win one of the Artisan Awards. एंड सो एक डिजाइन की आप जर्नी देखिए. So this is what I want to say ki, you know, you really have that power in your hands when you do design in a right way. The second point I want to raise today, और मैं ये आप सबको पूछना चाहती हूँ कि आप क्या बेच रहे हो. आप मटेरियल बेच रहे हो कि डिजाइन बेच रहे हो. ऑफ कोर्स हम जिस तरह से ट्रेडिशनली यू नो वी आर वर्किंग, हम मटेरियल पे ज्यादा ध्यान देते हैं बिकॉज ट्रस्ट फैक्टर आता है ज्वेलरी में एंड एवरीथिंग. बट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू सजेस्ट कि ये एक चीज बहुत मैटर करती है कि आप डिजाइन ब्रीफ कैसे देते हो और आपकी प्राइसिंग कैसे. वो पूरी चीज ये एक क्वेश्चन डिसाइड करता है. हाउ? जब आप डिजाइन ब्रीफ देते हो अपने डिजाइनर को, आप क्या बोलते हो? 4 कैरेट का नेकलेस बना दो, 2 कैरेट का सेट बना दो, यू नो. तो आपका आप मटेरियल की ही बात कर रहे हैं, आपने कॉन्सेप्ट की तो बात ही नहीं की. मैं एक रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ कि एक अगर आप पाथ ब्रेकिंग स्ट्रेटेजी है तो आप एक बार ये करके देखिए कि 1-2 दिन के लिए अपने डिजाइनर को फ्रीडम दे दीजिए. तुम्हें जो एक कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ कोर्स ले लीजिए, लेकिन तुम्हें जो बनाना है बनाओ. After then you can cut down and then refine it and come back to your commercially viable product. But you know, unless and until you don't give that freedom to your designer, it's very difficult to come up with very creative or innovative ideas. So this is one suggestion that I wanted to make. There is a very nice you know, research that the De Beers had done. They have a big report. If you want, you can access it online. और एक slide मुझे ये बहुत important लगी कि रिंग डिजाइन, यानी एंगेजमेंट रिंग में तो डायमंड ही सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट होना चाहिए. हम सब जानते हैं कि एक डायमंड एक्सपेक्ट करती है एक वुमेन. बट जब पूछा गया विमेन से तो वो यही बोली, मेन के कंपैरिजन में विमेन आप देख सकते हैं कि 30 मतलब इतना ज्यादा विमेन ये समझती हैं कि यू नो, दे आर बाइंग द रिंग फॉर द डिजाइन. The ring design is what mattered the most, even more than diamond quality, diamond size, cost, workmanship and any other reason. So you can just see how important. तो ये एक स्लाइड में इसलिए दिखाना चाहती हूँ कि एक नॉर्मल अगर डायमंड ज्वेलरी कोई बेचता है तो वो क्या करेगा कि 60-70% डायमंड होना चाहिए, 20-30% गोल्ड होना चाहिए. पर when I was designing this particular collection, it's called country high tea, तो यही आया मेरे सामने एक सवाल कि मैं अपने डिजाइन कॉन्सेप्ट को आगे बढ़ाऊंगी या तो प्राइस के जो पूरा ये कैटेगरी है उसको ये करूंगी. तो आई वेंट विथ माई गट फीलिंग एंड आई प्राइस्ड द थिंग अकॉर्डिंगली कि of course I also make money, that I don't make a loss, but so that those are things that will influence your branding, your design strategy and everything. And the last thing, this is one of the most important thing that I wanted to say, and thank you for giving me this time, Ashok ji and Gunjan. The last thing is, what place do you give your designers? So, you know, मैं 20 साल से हूँ इंडस्ट्री में और मैंने कई बार देखा है कि डिजाइनर अपने कमरे में डिजाइन करता रहता है और फिर वो डिसीजन कि ये डिजाइन चलेगा कि नहीं या तो ओनर लेते हैं या तो मर्चेंडाइजर्स, और उनके वेरी फ्यू कंपनीज जो डिजाइनर को एक वॉइस देता है कि नहीं वो अपने कन्विक्शन से अपने हिसाब से एक बनाए. सो दैट इज वन थिंग आई वुड एनकरेज यू टू डू दैट, क्योंकि वो वेल क्वालिफाइड है ये चीज करने के लिए. सेकेंड, अगर आपके पास हेड डिजाइनर नहीं है, आपकी कंपनी बड़ी है, तो डेफिनेटली आपको रिक्रूट करना चाहिए या तो कोई डिजाइन कंसल्टेंट, बिकॉज दैट विल ओवरऑल इम्प्रूव द क्वालिटी ऑफ डिजाइन. हम आज बात कर रहे हैं कि हम चाइना से कॉम्पीट करेंगे, हम उसकी जगह ले लेंगे, वी हैव दिस ह्यूज अपॉर्चुनिटी बिकॉज ऑफ कोरोना वायरस. लेकिन हम किस चीज पे कॉम्पीट करना चाहते हैं, प्राइस पे या कोई ऐसी बेटर चीज है जिसपे हम कॉम्पीट कर सकते हैं, और वो डिजाइन है और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑफ कोर्स है. सेकेंड, आप रिकग्निशन कितना देते हैं अपने डिजाइनर्स को. मेरा IIM अहमदाबाद के कोर्स में एक रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट मैंने किया था, और उस रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट के तहत मैं बहुत सारे कंट्री के बेस्ट ब्रांड्स के CEO लेवल के पीपल से मैं मिली थी, और मैंने एक ही क्वेश्चन रेज किया था कि क्या आप कोई ज्वेलरी डिजाइनर को एक प्लेटफॉर्म देंगे कि आप उसको एक छोटा सा शोकेस देंगे, उसके नाम से बेचेंगे? नहीं, ये हम नहीं कर सकते. So this is one question that I want to raise, that why when we were talking, when we were asking Tarun Tahilani, or we were asking the fashion industry, ki, you know, can we collaborate? but we have, of course, we can collaborate with them, but we have a very big pool of designers within the industry जिनको हम नजरअंदाज कर रहे हैं. So I wanted to raise this point in this platform. And yes, also I feel that there is a requirement of a very nice jewelry design week, like a fashion week in the country. Thank you so much.
Right, Sonali, that's brilliant. So Sonali, as you rightly said, that you really need some head designer, some guidance, a consultancy, or something like that. And I would like to add to what you said, that many times when we run this parallel design studio under our brand, we have big corporate companies also coming to us. And when they come to us, they expect perfection, they expect newness, they expect guidance. And that's where they are leaving that trust in your hands. So I'm sure that believing and trusting in the designers is of utmost importance, right? Abhishek Rastogi, I would like you to add to this question, please, and give us some 3 inputs of path-breaking strategies.
Sure. Thanks, Gunjan.
Yeah.
I would say that for me, it's not 3 different, points, because
right.
What matters to me is when the business strategy itself becomes the design strategy, and vice versa. I don't see that 2 things are very different. दोनों एक जैसी चीजें ही हैं. अगर आप business के अंदर, if it's a product oriented business, like ourselves in jewelry, it's a product oriented business. Until and unless you appreciate the product, unless you appreciate the design part of it within the business, then your whole strategy for the business in itself is not complete, or is not holistic. So what I very strongly believe in is the power of design to change the balance sheets of the company. Design has that much of power. Your product design, if it's designed right, if it caters to needs of the market, then it can just show you some very different figures in the balance sheet.
True,
so
true.
For example, we at Titan, we follow a very design methodology which is very at par with some of the global design houses, and it takes a lot of efforts to understand your consumer, to understand what the market needs, and then do a lot of trend research of how things are moving, how things are shaping, and then come back and formulate your product strategy that for us in the coming year or 5 years down the line. This is how we see ourselves. This is how our products would evolve. This is how we see our customers evolving, and hence you strategize in a way that you help consumers as well as your business grow together, because at times you also have to hold consumers' hand and show them something new that they may not have expected. You need to surprise them. You need to bring path-breaking collections that they may not have thought of. You need to innovate and invest in innovation. Material. How is jewelry interesting, and something I'm say, and at least for us at Titan, they are very well integrated, and that's my answer to the question.
Abhishek, sorry to interrupt you here. How many times a year do you do the trend forecast report or the trend research? Is it like once a year, twice a year? Is it dependent on the global trend research? How does that go about?
Absolutely not, Gunjan, and and many of the members here would agree that it's not. If you go out in the market once in a blue moon, you would see what the market situation is at that point in time. But if you're completely into it, is when you understand the market needs completely. You see how the needs of the market are changing, over a period of time. And by over a period of time, I mean, for example, if I have been in the industry for the last 15 years, you know how things have evolved from how it was 15 years back to today, or how it was, a year back to today. So yeah, for us, it's not a one-time thing. And also how we do it is not just one medium of going to the market and studying. It's also about, for example, we are at WGSN, we look at a lot of fashion magazines. Fashion is also a very important part of industry, because the kind of silhouettes which are defined in the fashion space also defines the
Right.
kind of necklace, for example, a lady would wear. So a deep understanding of all of this is, I think, what makes or breaks your
Right,
product.
right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Abhishek. Can Laksh, please you add to this point out here? Again, I'll repeat the question. Your
Yes,
three
yes.
major inputs on design, path-breaking strategies for the designers. So can you please highlight that?
Yes, good evening, everyone, and happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Yeah, happy
Hello,
Mother's Day.
can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
you're very
Yeah, so
audible,
thing here,
Laksh. Yes.
okay, okay. One has to be audible in this industry, you know. Anyways, so thing here is the slide by this one, Sonali, which she had representation was very nice. And secondly, about the stories we are talking about. Stories is like, see, I'm doing this since 1986, my jewelry. Now people are talking about stories. If you see my designs earlier, since 1986, I used to design jewelry like, what is the story? See, when Rastogi is saying he's working in a big company like Titan, it's a big setup. Myself, in the 200 square feet place in Zanji Street in Zaveri Bazaar, we started jewelry designing and manufacturing over there. I'm a son of a goldsmith. So design is, what the story, people are there. There are PR agencies, there are storytelling. Somebody can copyright your jewelry, like you make a jewelry and you tell that person to write a story around that jewelry. What I do in a different way. My jewelry, why it is so different? Everybody asks me why Laksh thinks so different. It's very simple. Because I script a story first. First, it's like a filmmaking. Everything is scripted. I write on the paper everything, the final details. You can say there is romance, there is screenplay, there is song, or there is anything you can say, a climax in a movie or something like this. I try to do it in my jewelry. If you check all my jewelry, it has that story behind it. So when you script it and then you manufacture it, there is authenticity in that. Okay. And I have seen this. A lot of designers, they do story, they do jewelry, then they do story. It looks a bit, mismatched sometimes.
So Laksh,
So this is the take up. Yeah.
Authenticity
Yeah.
is your first input, if I am right.
100%. Yes,
Great.
yes.
Please
yes,
carry
yes.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. So in this way, like the story is the first part, and story is the most important of the jewelry. If you want to connect with your customers, the story is the only thing. Now with this COVID, if you see in this COVID times also, I've done jewelry on coronavirus. See, for me, I got inspired by Amul. If you see Amul billboards, there is any political changes in the country, a sports person winning an award or something, they will come with a different billboard. So
Right.
that was my turning point. So I always think in that terms. Like I have done a jewelry on every design thing about concepts. Like what concept? Now Sonal was speaking about Turkey. Some will speak on Paris. Somebody will speak on some other country or something, or flora or fauna. My ideology is very different from others. To be like, if you can say, what do you call this? If your concept is different, your product has to be unique. Means your each and every part of the jewelry has to be unique. Your thought process has to be unique. So if you think I got for Mahatma Gandhi, that was Gandhi's vision. That jewelry itself is a translates. It translates the whole the jewelry speaks about the story. You don't have to write anything about it then, because when you keep it in front of the customer will understand what is the basic point about this. Let me have this.
So Laksh, if I may add to this, it's better
Yeah.
to fail in originality than succeed in imitation.
100%, and always believe in one thing. Mr. Stogi will, I think, believe in this also. I have always believed one thing: you should make your own trends. Be a trendsetter. I
Right.
don't follow trends in my jewelry. I have few customers who understands Laksh Pahuja, but I give unique. See, once you start following trends, there are a lot of seminars on GJPs also organize these seminars, everything. I appreciate that. but somehow along the line, you know, customer or not, because the students, the young students, they start copying it. I've seen it in some way. So you have to, it's a very final line between, you can
Getting
say, following the trends
inspired
and
and
yes,
yeah.
yes, that's very important.
So,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you. Thank
Tell
you,
me. Yeah.
Laksh.
You're
Abhishek
most welcome. Most
Raniwala.
welcome.
Abhishek Raniwala, I would like you to join here and please throw some light on this question, please. That will be really helpful. Abhishek Raniwala, are you in?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
I was.
So can you
So,
please throw some light on this question? What would
I
be,
think a lot
according
of
to
it has
you,
been,
yes, the three
lot has been
inputs?
covered. Has been covered, Gunjan. I think so. We have
Right.
to break the question into two parts. As we are
Right.
all group, from a small manufacturer to a
Right.
large manufacturer, and of course a retailer. We have to
Right.
understand that how design plays, किस जगह पे कौन सी डिजाइन कहाँ प्ले करती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल छोटा मैन्युफैक्चर जो कि आज मिक्स बैग है जो मुझे दिख रहा है, छोटे मैन्युफैक्चरर्स भी हैं, रिटेलर्स भी हैं, वी हैव हाउसेस लाइक तनिष्क आल्सो इन, वी हैव लक्ष वाज अ acclaimed ज्वेलरी डिजाइनर. सो मुझे तीनों पार्ट में अलग अलग सप्लाई चेन में एक चीज समझ में आती है कि बढ़िया डिजाइन मतलब बढ़िया व्यापार. एक चीज तो तय है. अब इस चीज को कैसे तोड़ेंगे ये अपन को समझना है कि छोटा मैन्युफैक्चर को ये समझना है कि उसके कस्टमर कौन है. उसको शायद कम्युनिकेशन स्ट्रैटेजी की जरूरत नहीं है. उसके कस्टमर कौन है, उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है और वो माल बनाए. उसी तरह बड़े मैन्युफैक्चर को ये आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि उसके कस्टमर कौन है. वाइस वर्सा इट गोज टू रिटेल. So if you see at a larger picture, when we come into retailing, I think there are three major points, which of course, the product is a winner in all the stages. Product, अच्छा design, अच्छा product, winner है किसी भी stage में supply chain के. But when you talk about as a larger picture, I think there are three major points. One is a very, very important thing is the consumer, as I said. Customer को क्या चाहिए, क्यों खरीद रहा है, उसकी need क्या है, क्या उसको bridal चाहिए, उसका solution क्या. We have to understand that what is the requirement, why that person or an individual is buying jewelry, and me as a retailer or as a supplier, am I satisfying, क्या मैं उसकी need को जवाब दे रहा हूँ. So you have to understand that very again where collecting data and understanding consumer behavior comes into the picture. So एक वो बात था पहला. दूसरा मेरी नजर में communication mix, जैसे कि लक्ष्य ने कहा और जैसे कि सोनाली ने कहा, जैसे रस्तोगी जी ने कहा, what is that attribute in your product and your brand which connects to the consumer is very important. If you don't have a story and that story does not reflect in your product, you're going to fall. So I would say that design is the hero of the brand. Henceforth, a good communication strategy is very important, which is amalgamated with your design, and eventually that is your product. So that's two. And the third, I think, so very significant point is, of course, which we all know is relevance. The pricing, the worthiness, the timing, the functionality, the variability, the sustainability. This all comes into that, how relevant the trends, the forecasting, the color combination. So then that third part is relevant. So understanding and putting in bullet points to make it short. One is, of course, understanding consumer behaviors at every different supply chain. Then the communication mix. Are you talking the same language? What your branding strategy and communication strategy, talking about social media or different platforms of communication. And third is relevance. So I think if you are smart enough to understand these simple points, put it on paper, I think that is what is path-breaking design.
Thank you, Abhishek Raniwala. And I would just like Shweta to throw some words, please, on this. Hi, Shweta.
She needs to be unmuted.
I think yes, she needs to be unmuted. So we'll wait for that. We'll wait for Shweta to be unmuted so that she can complete this answer. Can Avinash Bhai do that, please? Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi, Shweta. Hi, welcome. So can you please throw some light on the question of path-breaking design strategies, three major inputs in brief? Thank you.
Okay, I think mostly everybody's covered up that design is important.
Right.
The story is important. It is a part of business strategy. Yes, designing is a creative journey, but it has to be looked at a part of business strategy also. So what is it that we need to design? What is it that we need to create, for which we create a story of inspiration as well? So for this, I have 3 steps or 3 principles which I would like to share.
Right.
And the first would be observe and absorb. So when you observe and absorb, you are supposed to look around whether it is for source of inspiration, या आप बात कर रहे हैं कि आसपास ट्रेंड्स क्या चल रहे हैं currently, आपका कस्टमर डिमांड क्या कर रहा है, looking at your own database. Observe and absorb all the information which you see around. What is the innovation which is happening around which you can use? Using this information, the second step would be selection and elimination. It is very important to understand कि आपके market के लिए, whoever you are catering to, what are the aspects of this information which you've got that you need to implement? What is it that you need to select and what parts of it that you need to eliminate? क्योंकि हर चीज जो हम एब्जॉर्ब कर रहे हैं, चाहे वो टेक्नोलॉजी में हो, चाहे वो मटेरियल में हो, चाहे वो डिजाइनिंग इंस्पिरेशन में हो, हम सारी चीजें एक साथ नहीं अकोमोडेट कर सकते हैं किसी नए कलेक्शन में. And for this, the third would be adapt and evolve. See what is new. See how people are getting connected now. Like for example, COVID mein, a lot of online platforms have come up on which people are getting connected and getting used to. Digital media, social media connection has become even more prevalent. Make use of it to connect, not just with the current audience, but the newer buyer who are going to be there. So continuously adapt and evolve. And this third step has to be something which has to be very spontaneous and immediate. So this is all I would like to say.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Shweta. That was very, very valid, that input. Moving on, I would just like to add that we imagine the unimaginary. What's there is already there. We all agree. And what does not exist is always wanted by the human being. So I believe curiosity factor will increase double-fold. And that is an important value to be looked at. It will increase the spectrum of designs in categories not explored earlier. This will also encourage the design fraternity to innovate further and move on. You know, I would like to give you an example of a collection I had designed around 8 to 9 years back, and that was called Transforme, inspired by the microorganism amoeba. Now, amoeba as a microorganism changes its form with every step that it takes. Now that kind of triggered in me to create a collection based on that. And we came up with this beautiful set of collection, which was raw, crude, asymmetric, yet beautiful and ahead of its time. I would like to ask Abhishek Rastogi if there is a collection that he designed like that, listening to his gut feeling, or rather he was or not too sure, but he still went ahead with it, and give that experience and kindly share that with the audience. Abhishek, over to you.
Yeah, Gunjan. So,
Hi.
yes, actually a lot of things in design happens by gut feeling only. And just that when you internally believe in it, and obviously there's a lot of experience with which, you know, the gut feeling comes in, and you rely on that experience, you rely on your gut feeling, and then you kind of, you know, pursue the journey. Because so it happens in design that whenever you want to create something new, it's not that it's been done before. So you know, and if it's not done before, you need to take that risk and plunge in. But having said that, you know, especially in the kind of organization that I work for, the stakes are very high. We have, you know, more than 300 odd stores and all of that. And if we launch a collection and that fails, you know, so I mean, it has to be a very balanced approach, is what I'm saying. So when I say gut feeling, it's also about the fact that I consider how well is my product going to be priced, what is the kind of material which I'm choosing, you know, things like those. So it's not only just the concept, but how you render that concept in a way that how you transform that concept to something which is very saleable, acceptable to your target audience, you know, is something I think that defines the success behind your gut feeling.
So Abhishek, is there any collection that you can remember, a name of a collection that comes to your mind that, you know, that was different and that you went ahead with, or that gave you like credentials or whatever, any experience like that?
No, there are several such things. There was a collection called Jewels of the Royalty, which was which was launched, I think 4 years back, 3 or 4 years back, and there was usage of color stone in that collection. And when we did the market study, we realized that there is a lot of synthetic stones which are used in jewelry, and we being the brand we are, and those synthetic stones basically look very cheap and gaudy, and you know, we didn't want to use those stones, but those stones had a very high value for money perception, and it also increased the spread of the overall piece.
Product. Yeah.
Yes, and it brought in drama and all of those things, but we didn't want to use it in the current avatar. And we went ahead and we took that risk of, and we had limited time to launch the collection, but we were sure that this is not the way we are going to use the color, synthetic color stone into our jewelry. And we took that risk of going ahead, sitting with the lapidarists, getting those samples developed in like within a month's time. Kgs of synthetic stones we would have cut upside down. This that we did a lot of R&D on how to cut a synthetic stone so that it starts looking beautiful, starts looking more precious, almost looking like a ruby or emerald. Not saying that we were cheating consumers with saying that they are ruby or emerald, but providing a synthetic stone which has a lot more value into it. So we were looking from that angle. We went ahead, we launched a collection. And so we have never looked back. The kind of innovation we did. So there was what I'm saying is that at one point in time, we had to decide whether we are going ahead with synthetic stones or not. We decided, yes, we'll go ahead with it, but in a new avatar. Even without innovating, even without end output in mind, we went ahead and pursued that journey. The end result was very beautiful. We've been using that stone now for last 4 years since the time that collection has been launched. It's been used across our products now, and it has worked well for us. And I think a lot of industry is also absorbed because we never went ahead and did a patent for that. We thought that the synthetic stones really look very cheap and all of that. So so we didn't do a patent on that.
So thank you, Abhishek. So that you're trying to say that there was a stage where you had to decide that we listened to the gut feeling or no, and we went ahead with it, right? And sometimes in our industry, looking at the commercials, even balancing it out, there are certain decisions that need to be taken to be ahead of time. And I think that is also one of the strategies we will need to be looking at in the future. Abhishek Raniwala, you do a lot of Jadao jewelry. How different is it in that segment of the jewelry? Are the risk-taking abilities lower? How does that work? I'm not too sure. So I would like you to talk on this.
Yeah, that's true. So I represent a very different set of group of people. Jadao jewelry is handcrafted. It's haath se banti hai. And I think a lot of my fellow karigars and suppliers in the chat here, I think this is very relevant for all of them to I speak from their side. Yes. So there, of course, there are a lot of challenges. बहुत सारे challenges हैं हाथ से jewelry बनाना, क्योंकि आप casting use नहीं कर सकते, आप CAD design नहीं, computer का assistance नहीं है, technology is limited. But इसके साथ एक बहुत सारी opportunity भी खुलती है. What a hand can do, what a mind can do, synchronized, I think so that creates brilliance. And I think so Hindustan, India is blessed with all these karigars and the craftsmen we have. I think we are a superpower when it comes to handcrafted jewelry. So primarily जो जड़ाऊ jewelry है, which is traditional and occasion wear and bridal wear, is all handmade and old techniques. So coming to the collection, there are restrictions which are always there, and there are also a lot of positive side when we think of making things. So one of the collections which we made, which we thought can be made by hand, can be jadao, and also can appeal to the masses. So we called it as a ready to wear, which is a daily wear jadao. So we've never perceived jadao apart from the bridal or the occasion wear, somebody's marriage or ropa, etc. But how can we fit the jadao concept on daily wear? A woman going for a cocktail dinner or woman going for a date, या फिर एक लड़की office जा रही है, तो कैसे वो जड़ाव को अटैक करे? So we took the old motifs of Chand Tara,
right,
and we added some polkis and made it all by hand, and we did not make any casting or any mold out of it, and every piece was made by hand, and we try and market it and position it on the basis of the traditional handwear values. So they were, of course, it took us a lot of time to R&D, but what we understood that there is a way out, and it was very well accepted, and we sell it online also. And the karigars are too intelligent and smart to come with solutions what the computer cannot do. So I think,
so Abhishek, what I understand from what you just said was that here is where you altered the norms a bit.
Yes.
When you alter the norms, sometimes, a lot of people are listening to the seminar right now. We have around 552 people listening to us now, which is fantastic. And I'm sure that each one of them are running their own business, designing for some firm, aspiring to be better designers. So you might have limitations with your product, which is okay, which is perfectly fine. You could not take the risk a little further than what you want to, but you could alter the norms like Abhishek
Absolutely.
Raniwala did with his brand, and he made it available to the women to wear jadao on a daily basis. Make it effortless, make it casual. So there are ways of doing it. We are trying to give you piece of advice, word of thought, a lot of food for gyan here. So I'm hoping that everyone is absorbing that. So anyone wants to add to this question of which I just posed? Laksh, would you like to say something to this?
No, actually, yeah, I just wanted to share a screen
Right.
regarding the story part. I just need a
Please do
moment,
that.
please.
Yes.
Yeah, just a minute. Just give me a moment.
After Laksh finishes sharing his slide, we
Yeah.
will be moving on to another question prevailing about future trends. So panelists, I want you guys to be geared up for that. So Laksh, we are waiting for your slide.
See now you see this one. This is
Right.
for the audience,
Yes.
Again, there's a story behind it. Again, so
Right.
when I was talking to you all about when it is on the cause, like the pink dolphins are slaughtered in the Amazon basin,
Yeah. Which
So-
year was this, Laksh?
This was in 2009, 2010, and 2009, 2009.
Correct.
And this is way ahead of time. Now you see the variability again. It's on the shoulder. Why it is on the shoulder? Because when a dolphin will dive, it has to have a force in a design.
Right.
See, so it is my gut feeling when when Abhishek was talking about and everybody's talking about the design part and everything. I'm talking about this type of designing. Why I put on the shoulder? Nobody had done it before. No international jewelry designer had done this jewelry on a shoulder. Now there is no hinge in it. How to hold a necklace on the shoulder? Again, it was so difficult for me to arrange and you can say manage all this thing that it should
Right.
hold also.
Right. I want
Yeah.
the audience to, listen to one thing that यहाँ पे जो भी speakers हैं आज, वो सब अपने
हाँ,
तरीके से अपने जगह पर कुछ ना कुछ नया करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और करते आए हैं, और इसलिए आज आपको बोलने की वो हिम्मत रखते हैं और ये प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं. तो लक्ष्य ने भी ये 2010 में किया. So risk taking ability, being ahead of time is one of the strategies जो ignore नहीं किया जा सकता. Laksh, please carry on.
Yeah, just a minute. I will show you one more. Just a minute. I'm sorry. There's one more design. It's on Mahatma Gandhi.
Right.
It's very interesting for the audience to know this. How many of the person knows about R.K. Lakshman, the panelist?
Everyone, I guess.
No, yeah. See, I'll because it's Mother's Day, I will give you this thing on this. I'll share this. Now this is what? Gunjan,
Anji.
can you guess what is this?
Yeah, you have to tell me. I can guess, but
Okay.
I would like you
Okay.
to elaborate
Now-
on it the way
Okay,
you want
okay.
to.
Glove. Boxing glove.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
This is dedicated to Mary Kom. See, now this is storytelling. When I told you I script my story before I manufacture. See, before I manufacture and design. Now this the outline of. Oh, what is this? Can you see the screen or?
No, but I believe everyone has seen the picture, Laksh. You can carry on talking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing here is the outline of the jewel is the state of Manipur, the outline of Manipur, the map of Manipur. Okay.
Mr. Prajwal, can you stop your screen share, please?
Yeah.
Mr. Prajwal,
I don't know what happened.
So somebody else has started.
Mr. Prajwal, can you stop your screen share?
Only the host is saying.
Somebody else has started it.
Yeah.
He should stop.
We'll wait for that person to stop the screen
Please,
Yeah.
sharing.
please.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, I'll carry on with this question, Laksh.
Yeah,
You
okay,
know,
okay.
I would like to say that, you know, as they say that have no fear for perfection. कहते हैं ना डरना नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि कोई
कभी
perfect
नहीं.
हो ही नहीं सकता.
Exactly. You're
You
you're
can
bang on.
never
Yeah.
reach it. So let's
Yes,
start by being
So,
fearless.
Gunjan, can I add
Yeah.
a point on that one? I just
Yeah,
have
sure.
one point to make that there is a balance as Abhishek Rastogi and Abhishek Ranewala and Mr. Lakshmi.
Sure.
All of us said that, you know, of course, there we need to see, we have to walk that thin line कि customer को क्या चाहिए. But I also have a little personal view कि कभी-कभी customer को इतना पता नहीं होता है. They may have a little idea, but then they are looking at you कि आप क्या नया देते हैं उनको, and they are open to new things.
And you know, Sonali, I appreciate that point out here. You know, this reminds me, I'm deviating from the topic a bit, but last night I was seeing a cookery show, right? And my kids love pancakes, right? Now, this lady, she said that cooking up pancakes in the morning is very tough for me because I just have 20 minutes of time. So she put all the ingredients of a pancake and baked it in a jar and topped it with peanut butter and strawberry jam. And she served her kids baked pancakes, which she prepared earlier. So customers, they're like children. They want something. They sometimes don't know what they desire. But if you present them on a platter with the edge of newness, I'm sure, you know, they'll appreciate that.
Yeah,
So
so
please
then
carry on. Yeah.
designers have to walk that thin line and balance it.
Absolutely. So I was coming to the next point out here, and I'm going to be going towards this, as I said, that have no fear for perfection because you'll never reach it. So start by
Exactly.
being fearless, and we can call it innovative design, we can call it fearless design, and that should be the mantra for your future design guidelines. So going forward, I want to pose this question to the panelists saying that, can you give us just one future trend about the kind of material that will prevail, the kind of gemstone that will prevail, and how certain trends can coexist with each other in the coming times? Kindly throw some light on this, please.
New material in a lot of, I think, high-end jewelry. I think experimentation with material will prevail. Like besides gold, we can use titanium or aluminium. And also in a lot of fine jewelry, we'll see use of ceramic. We can see use of silk dories as a part of the design, not just as a back-hand strand. And semi-precious jewelry and lightweight jewelry.
Thank you. Abhishek Rastogi, any inputs on that, please?
Yeah, so coming to the trends, I think the current situation, which is the lockdown that we are all into right now, I think the lockdown would create an era of, the end of more. People have, understood how to live with less. And I think until and unless,
Minimalist.
for example, even for our industry, for example, if we don't build that desire back, then people are not going to, people are already starting to cut down, and those thoughts are there in their minds, and people have learned to live with less, and that may continue for some time. And that I see as a permanent shift. And until and unless all kind of product categories build that desire, I find it very difficult for, for market to really open up. Until and unless it's a need-based, purchase like a wedding or or a this thing. Yes.
Abhishek, you're trying to say that this would, kind of make the way or pave the way for minimalistic or lightweight designer jewelry. Is that what you're saying?
Not really minimalistic, because see, everybody's style sense is very different. Right. What I'm trying to say is that people have understood to live with less. So, if I don't need jewelry, for example,
right.
So if there is a wedding in my family, if my daughter is getting married, for example, then a customer would go and buy jewelry. But if I don't need jewelry, what I'm trying to say is that current situation looks like that the whole sense of why jewelry is worn for adornment is going down. So if jewelry is seen more as an investment today in the current situation and not so much as an adornment, then there is a heightened need for us to create that desire so that customers can come back to jewelry for adornment and not for investment. And to answer that, what I also feel is that people are going to buy a lot more meaningful products, so need based and more meaningful, rather than splurge on something which is really not required. So I think that's the.
So I guess, Abhishek, then the strategies that we are kind of helping in formulating will pave the way for future buys, because people would want to have to believe in you, right? They would have to become your associate partners to believe in a dream that you are nurturing at the moment, right?
Absolutely.
Abhishek Raniwala, any future trend inputs in brief, please?
So to understand designing, I think so we have to understand the product mix properly. And I see that there'll be three strong product mix which will prevail post-COVID. One will be, of course, very needs buying. That could be for marriages. That's one of the major product mix on the top of the line. Second will be investment. Can I buy an ornamental jewelry apart from my as an asset class instead of bullion? That's two. And third will be regular wear, daily to wear kind of a jewelry. And we have to design our keeping all the parameters in the mind. And as Abhishek said, that the more is no more. People will be happy with what they have. So I think so. Trend will be back to basics. Trend will be giving a solution to the need and focusing on the category which you're working on, rather than trying to innovate more, because innovation also urges a desire, but there's also a deep value on the other side. If it doesn't work, then you fall. So the few months are going to be tricky for the human race, all of us together. And we have to understand what product mix we are, and then we have to design.
Right. And I believe, that is why the next series of questions that we will have now, or what I'm going to talk about, will actually help the consumer to believe into buying, will actually accelerate business if we start thinking towards this. So we've been reflecting on the changes that have been made in the world of design to create products that are more sustainable. Now, this word has suddenly become very popular. Okay, so the principles of sustainability are the foundations of what this concept represents. As for me, it's people, planet, and profit. When you talk of people, it's your consumer. When you talk of planet, it's your surroundings. And when you talk of profit, it's of course the commercial angle. So what I believe is that there will have to be a growing need for pitching in new ideas, new suggestions for environmentally sustainable design concepts. So I want to know that since there is a growing demand for sustainable design in the future, what will be your take on this, Sonali?
So even I think I would combine the answer for both your questions.
Right.
I think sustainable design will definitely be the trend for future. One of the things that I feel is people in this period have understood the importance of relations, their close ones. Also, there is a lot of nostalgia. There is personal emotions and also memorabilia. These kind of things, memories, these kind of things, as Abhishek said, Abhishek Rastogi, that, meaningful jewelry. So something that means a lot to me. So, there could be gifts, there could be redesigning of old jewelry. So when you talk about sustainability, how about, redesigning a piece for your customer, or maybe taking few elements of the, objects that they have, some precious maybe stones or jewelry that they have, and then refurbish it in a new way. So this, of course, all the jewelers may not be able to do. Say retail chains, they are actually selling ready-to-wear products. But if you're looking at individual people who customize and make, so this is one of the things. And sustainability, actually, I think gold in itself, we never, gold jewelry is either recycled or worn for years together. So we are actually a very sustainable, we are actually practicing sustainability in that sense.
Sonali, adding to this, I had a very, very, a different requirement from a client who walked into my boutique and said that my grandmother has given me this piece of Kura Jodi earrings, Nakshatra, but I don't want you to melt it. What can you do for me? Yeah. Now, I that was a very nice challenge for me. So what I understood, I saw her profile, what she's all about, what kind of customer personality she has, and we created something around it without having to melt her grandmom's piece, because she was sentimentally attached to it. So we transformed it. It's sustainable.
Many times with me when I deal with private clients, I in fact tell them, "Ye mat matlab
correct. mat melt karo.
It has a very good heritage.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So we are actually looking at revisiting design attributes by adding a moral value, which will be of significant importance in the future. This will be dealing with sentiments of the consumers. It could be a message of global warming. It could be save the wild. It could be new material introductions, encouraging recycling materials, or some ideas we can explore. Abhishek Rastogi, can you please give us some
Yes.
piece of advice on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think sustainable is a very big topic in today's world, and especially with our generation, millennials, and even the next generation, who is going to be our the next consumer segment. I think it's becoming increasingly becoming a topic of concern, and people are not only looking at sustainable products, as in what is gone behind that particular product and whether it is sustainable or not. People are actually going to look for answers whether the company or the brand that is coming up with the products, or that the brand into which they are investing in, whether the brand itself is sustainable or not. And and thanks to the current situation also, for example, I mean, cities are seeing Gangotri from a distance of 200 kilometers, Ganga, Yamuna, everything is becoming clean.
So they are valuing Mother Nature. Yes, they are valuing nature.
So, yes, and I don't. Already, this voice was very apparent on the sustainable bit, but I think post this COVID, this voice is going to get stronger, and I'm sure people are going to find, are going to look for answers, and we as brands and we as companies would have to answer that. So, how our production is happening, how our raw material is getting sourced, are we recycling gold? What are we doing with this whole sustainable aspect of it, solar energy and things like that? And even sustainable is also for example, also about the artisans. How are you taking care of the artisans? Is it a fume environment which is filled with poisonous chemicals that they're breathing in and out, or are you a sustainable company taking care of your artisans as well? So things like these, I think, is going to be a topic of concern.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I believe Hemant Bhai had posted something on the WJA group today, which were cutouts, and we were really impressed with that. So is Hemant Bhai also there online? Okay, so we'll come to that, probably later. Hi, Hemant Bhai, I believe that you had posted something on the WJA group today.
Yes, I did, and there is a concept which we had developed some time back called zero wastage.
Correct.
So
I want you to actually talk about this, since we are discussing sustainability in our industry.
Yeah, so it does come from the sustainability aspect. In fact, most of the things I do are sustainable. I do a lot of craft-based jewelry based on Dokra, based on Bitri, which are all sustainable in the sense that, like my craft, Dokra today is also still manufactured without using any electricity or any chemical-based compound.
Wow.
Okay, lovely. Yeah.
Coming to the collection that you saw today, it is made out of recycled hardboard. Okay, so that's the first part. Every part that is cut off is reused within the same design to give you the final image. I don't know, is it possible for me to share my screen? I can just take you to an...
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
So give me a minute. Let me just load the pictures.
Yeah.
I have given the sharing to you, Hemant Bhai. You can
Okay,
go ahead.
thank you. Thanks. I'll just give me a half a minute.
Yeah, sure. So I believe that, when we talk about...
Gunjan,
yes.
Gunjan.
Laksh was telling something.
Yes, Laksh.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Gunjan, on sustainability, I was talking about on the question. I did some research on Google. They're saying to extract 10 grams of gold, 5 tons of ore is processed.
Okay.
Okay. So heavy use of machines, then there's pollution and a lot of things. So what Sonali said, what Sonali said about the recycling of the jewelry is the most important thing, Yeah. Yeah, this is he's sharing the screen.
Yeah.
So lovely it is. Yeah.
As you will see.
So nice.
Yes, Hemant Bhai, please let us know about this in detail.
Okay. So the cutouts, one cutout is the mother, other is the child. And the cutouts are used in the center to depict the child and the mother hugging each other. And the center part that has been emptied out is used as the base on which the mother and daughter are standing.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
So this is one of the concepts. Then, but let me tell you the process by which we created this. I started work with about 6 different designers. Okay, and for me to just explain and get them to understand the concept was a humongous task.
Challenge.
And at the end of the day, there is only one designer who has designed all these 7 pieces. My collection is normally 7 to 12 pieces. I don't go for more than that. So these are all done by one designer. Now this is about a mother who knows you best because she has heard your sounds from the inside.
Boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the pregnant mother and the child, and then after she's born, the heart and the bond that they have between them. So now I am not a designer. What I do is actually I describe this whole thing that I'm creating to the designer. Okay, because I can't draw. I can't even make a straight line with a ruler. Okay, I'm that bad at it.
Yeah, Gulzar.
So, Hemant bhai, what I really like about your collection, can I just interrupt here a bit?
Of course, please.
What I really like about this whole thought process is there are 3 things that I get to take away from here. 0 wastage.
Yeah.
Original ideation and trying to do something different and also giving credit to the creator. So there is these 3 beautiful things that I take away from this concept. I'm sure the panelists will agree to this. Yeah. So yeah, please carry on.
Of course.
Again, this is a house, mother and children, and the love that they have between them. That's the heart that comes out. And every single piece you see here is reused. There's nothing thrown out, nor anything added from anywhere else. So this is where actually the designer skills comes in.
Right.
My designer, a girl
this is beautiful.
Called Rupa, she did such a brilliant, she did a lot of
Come again,
effort. Ruparel.
Okay.
Very nice.
Designed all
Lovely.
this.
Lovely.
I have no hitchchat in giving her name out because I think she's brilliant and she deserves the credit.
Now, of course,
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that is the thing.
Yeah.
As
Thank
you
you,
say,
Hemant bhai.
designers need all this thing they can get. So this is the whole concept, and all this is from recycled hardboard. That's the best part.
So we'll see some.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hemant bhai.
Yeah.
We'll see something on Valentine Day also.
Oh, we already made a Valentine's Day collection. No, we had made a Valentine's Day collection.
Okay, lovely. I will need one.
The second collection in this concept.
I will need one. Oh, okay.
Thank you so much, Hemant bhai. Thank
all
you so much. So, thank you so much, Hemant bhai. So, creating a healthy, proactive environmental message, I'm sure will touch a chord in the ends of the consumers, and that will compel them to associate themselves with your design product. And this will in turn create goodwill and make them your associate partners, which I said earlier. So, moving on, does anybody want to add anything on sustainability here, please?
One sec, Sunjan.
Yeah.
There are a lot of points which are raised by people. Laksh could not share the images what he was sharing, like Mahatma Gandhi and R.K.
Content, yes.
So if he can do that, and then you can proceed for the next question, it will be better.
Please, Laksh.
Okay.
Please do that.
Give me a moment. Yeah, sure.
Yes, please.
It's showing only the host can share this.
Yeah, I have given the command, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much.
While he's doing that, I just want to thank Hemant sir for mentioning the designer's name. I think that talks huge about his, his approach.
For the kind of person that he is in the industry.
Yeah, guys, today's Mother's Day. So this necklace is a tribute to Mother Teresa. So each and every, it's titled Wings of an Angel.
Wow.
Just see the rosary in the center. So this is how the storytelling is. So I always say only one thing: first script, then you make. I don't know. I'll show you more on Mahatma Gandhi also. A quick thing I'll show you all. This was quite interesting. I did. Now, yeah. A jewelry on a tribute to Vishwanath Anand, the master, this thing, the prime czar.
Chess
See the
player.
way it is.
The
It's a
chess
mind.
player.
It's like we do MindSpeak. It is a mind game, chess.
Yes.
So how?
It's nice.
So, so,
Well said.
just a minute. I'll show you more.
But Laksh, we have to sit one day to understand how you think,
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Sure.
but not here. huh?
This is one of my favorite now. I think this is a tribute to Subhash Chandra Bose. A jewelry was displayed at IIJW. You see the tiger. That's our national animal. And if you see, it's a Tiger Hill, and the way we fought a war at Kargil. So it's a
Wow.
whole story, and it's titled Jai Hind. The title piece is Jai Hind.
Laksh, how much time did it take you to make that piece?
It takes a lot of time. And there is one jewelry I'm making since 2009. I'm still making it. It's not getting it because somewhere along the line, I feel I'm not doing justice to it. So again, I'm redoing it.
Yeah.
Just one Mahatma Gandhi, I'll show you.
Yes.
Hope you guys are enjoying it. Huh?
Of course.
Yes. Yes.
Public demand.
Public demand, I say. Yeah, this was, and I'll show you this one. This is that one. See. Now this is like bird's eye view of Palm Jumeirah. See, I don't think about customers. I don't think people will like it. I just make it for myself. I chase my dreams. I just manufacture it. I'm lucky to have my own factory. I'm a goldsmith myself. I can manufacture a lot of things to get myself. I just put it together and just display it. And this is the way I do my work.
You are a Leonardo da Vinci, I can tell
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Laksh, any more slides?
One last. I believe.
Yes, please.
Please.
This is the last I'm showing you. Otherwise, okay. You want to see Mahatma Gandhi, and there is a Titanic here.
Anything,
Yeah, okay.
because there was a lot of demand and we.
Yeah. See, this is
Oh.
Titanic.
Titanic.
Full story. See, on the lower part, there's an iceberg. There's a waves. There's a blue stone associated with the love of Jack and Rose.
Oh God.
There's a deck made of wood. Then again, there is the Titanic pose. It's totally complete. If you see
It's
a movie,
fantastic. Yeah.
still is with me. My wife wears it.
Oh God.
Great.
Great,
One more.
great.
Last, I'll just show you one more.
Benefits of being a wife of a designer.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Sonali.
What happens to the husbands?
We can't comment on that.
Question. Don't even go there.
Yes, guys, this is the last one I'm sharing. I got
Right.
many of them, but this is the last one I'm sharing. Now, this is the ultimate piece which I've designed. I did it in 2010. Now, this was a Solitaire Award. I got a first prize. Now, if you see, the inspiration was like Mahatma Gandhi. When you see Mahatma Gandhi, the first thing it comes to your mind is the specs. बोलते हैं ना महात्मा गांधी के चश्मे. That chashma, usko bana diya motif. वो motif का बन दिया हमारा necklace. If you see each and everything, it has the meaning behind it. The center part is charkha. Then on the right hand side, there is Free India. There's a bird there. On the left hand side, there is secularism. All the caste and everything should stay together. There is salt, that is known as Gandhi March. There is the philosophy with three monkeys, Bura mat ko, Bura mat suno, Bura mat dekho. And there is a tricolor thread. And again, in each and every snippet of this is, you know what, there's a saying of Mahatma Gandhi, like an eye for an eye will make the world go blind, on something like that. So this is the way you write a story then make a jewel.
So Laksh,
Yes.
thank you so much. But you know, the best part about the Mahatma Gandhi necklace was its simplicity, because Mahatma
Yeah.
also believed in Sada Jeevan Uch Vichar,
Excellent.
right?
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was something that caught my eye. Moving
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
I'm going to be now changing the momentum of the seminar towards something else right now. Currently, there are a zillion of ideas bombarding in my mind space, and I'm sure this current scenario, this is what is happening to all of you. So that is why addressing a topic like this becomes mandatory. I'm going to
Yeah.
read a few lines from this book called Seed by Design, and the reason to do this is because that will form the base of my next question to the panelists. Seed by Design happens to be India's premier book on design thinking. I was blessed to have authored it, and I'm going to read a few lines from it. New studies have shed light on the surprising power and the reach of our senses. We can hear things that don't make sound. We can feel things without touching them. We can see things with no form and smell things that have no discernible odor. Humans also have a sense in addition to the five senses called proprioception, also known as the muscle sense. You know, many a times when we are watching television and we need to catch the remote, so what happens is we are not aware of the muscles in our torso, in our neck, in our shoulders and arms, and we just kind of grab it. So that is the muscle sense we've been gifted with. In a nutshell, human beings have been gifted with sharp senses, and if they elevate it to a higher level, that will decide the quality of the picture we as designers want to show the world. Now, my next question is on the basis of this, that how do we involve or elevate our senses to create better designs, to formulate better strategies for the future? So I want Sonali, if you can please add to this.
I think as you were reading, this is what I could think of was that
I remember you calling me day before and saying that I still haven't got laid my hands on the book. So I believe that was a fresh take for you from there.
Yeah, it was. It is a
Yeah.
fresh take.
Yeah.
But I think, designers, so to say, are a little closer to artists. I think we are just, a little bound by the commercial aspects. And so, but we still are artists at heart. And I think, we do get easily emotional and affected by things happening around us. I'm sure even this time, this really, really unusual time that we are all going through, is going to leave a lasting impression on our minds, and it is going to reflect in our designs. For example, I'll just give you a very small example, since you're talking about five senses. And when you said, what is that one key trend do you think for the future? You know what I thought of? I'm bored of staying in the house and just looking at the same walls. I want to see bright colors on the street. And, so I was thinking maybe some bold color stones is something that would attract a lady who is, looking, and I also, of course, there are things where people will buy jewelry or not. So those are separate questions. But I see so many of my clients who want to, get jewelry as gifts, because they say we are not going anywhere, I'm not going to let go of my jewelry gift of the anniversary or the birthday. So, let's not lose hope. And so this is where that emotion or that sixth sense you're talking about will come into play, because now we are all in this together, and that how somehow that energy is going to come out in the design work as well.
Thank you, Sonali. So to add to that, I may say, to sum up, is that the energy of how we all are feeling at the moment is our hidden strength, right? So if we use that sense or that energy in the right direction, we will be able to elevate our senses. So adding to the five senses, I just want a very brief takeaway from each one, starting with Abhishek Rastogi, followed by Abhishek Raniwala, please.
On the senses, I would say right now, especially with the current situation that all of us are, I think there's also increased sense of collectivism now, because we've been locked down into our spaces. So, and the whole pride in nationalism, for example, when Laksh was showing all those pieces of Mahatma Gandhi and the Kargil thing, and the kind of passion, the kind of feelings that brings out within you is something which is unparalleled. And I'm increasingly seeing that happening currently, that there is a increasing sense of nationalism which is there amongst all of us together, and because we are fighting this situation together as a community. And I think that's going to that's also helping us relook at our past. People are spending so much time. The other day, Mr. Raniwala was saying how he's listening to stories from his grandparents about the emergency and all of that. So I'm saying people are spending that kind of time with their loved ones. They are doing things which they have not done before, and they are also kind of exploring their history back. There's so much of Ramayana and Mahabharata these days on television, and families are sitting together and watching. So I think there is going to be an increased sense towards our own traditions, and but at the same time making it a little more wearable for today and making it a little more modern is, I think, how we are moving towards.
Thank you, Abhishek. Abhishek Raniwala, would you like to add to this, that the kind of energy that we have with us, the kind of feeling that we are going through, and how we can use our senses to elevate design to another level?
I think so.
Abhishek Raniwala.
The COVID era has taught us to be more responsible, consume more responsibility. It has given us time to look within. And the minute you look within, your all senses get aggravated. And I think so we are on the tip of aggravation of patriotism and preserving what we have. And we all pepped up to go back and do our best, combining all our senses together and put it into design. So in few words, I think it's time that we make the product and the design the hero, and make a complete story out of it, using all our senses which have been activated in these times.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Abhishek. Shweta, do you want to add to this, dear?
Yeah, sure. There is a Japanese philosophy, or Kanse. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's called Kanse. It basically is putting the emotional effect of all the five senses together, and using that to appeal to the consumer psychologically. So the sight, the shape, the color, everything that appeals is a complete package to our sight, to our sense, to what we hear about it as a part of branding. I think connecting with that emotional, psychological aspect by sharing our feelings as design is something that will work right now. That liberation, the hope, and these are the adjectives we need to put into our designs. The connected.
Shweta, do you remember that there was this fidget cube launched a couple of years back? And that became a big rage with the youngsters and the kids. And that, actually, yeah, and that was amazing, because that you were feeling all the different textures, the senses, the feeling, and I think when the product designer created that, that's what he used. He used his sensory perception to create a path-breaking toy. So, we see that when we invite guests to our home, it's not just food you're serving, it's how you present it, the colors you use. So there's taste, there's look, there's sight, everything. So if we start doing that with jewelry, I think we can elevate this to another level, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'd like to add one thing there.
Yes, Sonali.
I just wanted to give an example. So, for Indian weddings earlier, I don't know now post-lockdown what kind of jewelry people are going to wear, but in the pre-lockdown era, I had designed a huge necklace for a bride, and I made sure that because she was going to put it on for like 2-3 hours or maybe more, that the back was so comfortable and it was so nice to touch and feel that it was almost, even that heavy jewelry was, it was manufactured in such a way so that it was so comfortable for her to wear. It was smooth, and even if you talk about the comfort finish, fit in the rings, I think those are the kind of things we should really, really not undermine or just take care of it.
Thank you, Sonali. Ashok bhai, would you want me to ask a couple of questions or end the forum, or how is it?
I think Avinash ji would have a few questions he would have received.
Yes, please.
On the chat, if at all, if he can look at them.
Definitely.
There is a question, what should be general time frame a designer should keep in mind from concept to retail?
I think Abhishek Rastogi can answer this question well for him.
Yeah.
Abhishek
Yeah. So
Rastogi.
yes. Yeah. No. So I think it's when you speak about design, it's obviously a very creative field, and one can and as Laksh was saying that he started a piece. I think he said 2009 or sometime, no, or if I'm not wrong. Okay. So what I'm saying is that it's a creative field, and there is no end to perfection. But it depends on the kind of business that you're into, and I mean there are few things which can run parallel, which can have a little longer lead time, and because you're sure that if you do a little more add-on to it, it would transform into something more beautiful and dramatic than what it is currently. And hence I think that there has to be that balanced approach of having a longer lead time projects and shorter lead time projects. So yeah, so shorter lead time projects depends on companies, how they want to treat it. It can be few months to do design, to sampling, to bulk production, and then finally launching to the market. Or it can be more than a year, or 2 years, or 3 years, depending on the kind of R&D and the kind of innovation that you are planning to do, and how perfect you want it to be before it goes out.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Hope it answers.
I want to ask one question. I think Abhishek has very well answered this, but generally in our industry, people think of an idea, they want to create it tomorrow, and in the next 3 days, they want the production to start. Is it possible?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry, I'm just answering this one, that it is possible that I have had clients ki mujhe ye gift dena hai aur kal hi, and then the design is not ready, you sketch it in front of her. So that is how, like, the design time could be 3 or 4 days. It could go till a year also. Some of the big design companies have a year long design cycle. But I mean, I'm sure all the designers would...
One of a line pieces are all possible, I know. But when you actually want to really design a collection and all,
no,
you can't just get an idea on one day. In 3 days, you can start producing and getting results. So there has to be a time frame that has to be given, sufficient time frame for designers to think, to create, and actually come up with a selection and rejection situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, Ashok Bhai. Because to each one their own, you have to formulate your own timelines, looking at the commercial angle as well. If you have, like, suppose I run a studio as well, and if I have a client who's looking for 3 collections a month, my capacity of designers need to be able to cater it with efficiency. And if I can't do it, I won't do it. But you need to understand this yourself. Everyone needs to decide these norms for themselves, how you're comfortable with. There are no rules in design. You formulate it the way you can do it and improvise it each day. Yes, Avinash Bhai, are there any more questions?
Yeah, one more question. Yeah, please go ahead, Abhishek.
No, I just wanted to add to what Gunjan was saying, because as a designer, there is no end to perfection. And as she was saying, that one has to decide, define your own limit. At times, I mean, whenever you do a sample, you realize, oh, I could have done this, and it would have, become
absolutely, Abhishek. Absolutely.
But then you have to also be realistic and, define your timelines.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Mr. Avinash.
Connecting to that question, one more question is there. Points to keep in mind when designing, because see, ultimately what you have said is the commercial also matter. So when you're designing a collection for regular wear jewelry, what are the points to be kept in mind when something is designed with the commercial thought process? Because it's not a question to Laksh, but it's a question which people will be asking to their designers, and the new designers, the upcoming designers have that in mind.
So Avinash Bhai, I would like to add here is that a collection comprises of firstly is your end consumer or a client that you're targeting. Every retailer, every wholesaler or a boutique jeweler or someone is designing for someone. If not, they are presenting a ready collection for their end imaginary consumer. Never forget that consumer in your mind, then work backward. You need to know that what is the kind of collection you will be representing. Then you come up with list of ideas. The way I work is, I work on the concept of divisibility in my studio. And divisibility, I mean, is that I have formulated it myself. I call it the micro and the mega compartments of jewelry. Micro compartments of jewelry comprise of the idea, the inspiration, the fragments, the research material, and the mega compartments comprise of the big takeaway, the story, the message, and the personality of the consumer. Once you know these two aspects, you will be able to design jewelry with method and precision in time to come.
Nice, okay.
Avinash, can I say a few words, please?
Please.
Okay. What I would like to bring out here is the kind of work I do. As I said, I work with various Indian crafts like dokra, bidri, paper mache, tarakati to create modern jewelry for the export market. Now, for us, from selecting an art to market is anywhere between 12 to 18 months. Why? I think most designers do not know how these crafts work. Okay, therefore we first have to study the craft to see what kind of designs are possible. Then getting the craftsmen to change, to manufacture the kind of pieces we are looking at and reaching a quality that is acceptable is another task. So as I said, it normally takes us anywhere between 12 to 18 months from selecting a craft to retail. And to just point out what Sonali said, again, I will share my screen and show you something that we do on a regular basis for product. Can I please share the screen, Avinash?
Yeah, I have given you the command.
Okay. So, yeah. Share. Sonali, this is what is done with every single piece of jewelry we make. This is the front and the back.
Wow, yeah.
And we do this for $100 and $200 pieces. It's not only with super expensive fine jewelry.
You're handmade, right?
Sorry?
You're handmade, no?
Yeah,
I'm Lakshmi.
No, casted.
Casting.
The bidri piece is handmade. The bidri piece is handmade. And then it
the
is,
back part is casted.
The back part is casted. But we have a jali for any piece that we make.
Okay.
I just wanted to.
These pieces are done. These pieces are done in Bombay or
yeah. So no, the bidri is done in Bidar.
Okay.
Like my dokra is done in a town called Kondagaon in Chhattisgarh. My paper mache is done in the outskirts of Srinagar in Kashmir.
Lovely.
It's all done, but the assembly work is all done in Bombay.
The product itself is your story.
Yes, our product is our story. And
Thank
we
you
have
for sharing
documented manufacturing. I have the whole dokra process, bidri process, everything documented on video.
Lovely.
Lovely.
I just wanted to add one thing, Gunjan, to Avinash's question. I'll give you an example. Wojo, the earlier slides that I showed you, the Mirage collection was more of an art and all. And then a lot of jewelers, when we showcased it at IIJS, some of the renowned jewelers really loved it. And what we did when we talk about commercial aspects, हमने उनके लिए उसको थोड़ा tweak करके भी manufactured it according to their customer taste. So he loved the products, but he said, no, how come, can we have some diamonds around it? Can we make the weight a little less? So we've made an entire new range just for that particular jeweler.
So I'm glad you did that, because adaptability to consumer needs is mandatory, right? Your end consumer has to be kept in mind, whatever you do. Many a times there is always a consumer at the end. Avinash bhai, you can ask.
I think Ashok bhai, it's 3:35 already. I think over to you for.
Ashok bhai, shall I end the seminar on a polite note?
Please.
Thank you. So design, as we all know, guys, it speaks culture, and culture shapes values, and values determine the future. So as we all know that we as a design fraternity have to tempt the consumers to buy, offering them newness, but what level of newness we're talking about, each one knows it's in our mindset. Summarizing, it's important to note that The more we try to offer value in terms of design, we create a connective bond through stories, through messages, through slogans. We are sending a signal that will surely bring in new customers who want to be associated with brands like ours, adding value to the society and surroundings. So let's welcome changes with open hands by creating consumption of renewable sources, adding innovation, adding value to the sentiments of consumers, and implementing these attributes will definitely enhance the design industry on the whole. Thank you all the panelists, and thank you the organizers and the listeners for being so patient with us. Over to you, Ashok.
Thank you so
You have not left anything for me to speak except by saying that you guys are a real bunch of great minds, great spirits,
Thank you.
Where we hope
absolutely
we added value
a
to the
lot of energy and the potential to really take the thought process from really one level to another level.
Thank you.
And I salute you guys for the kind of discussion you've had today. I can assure you, to get about 600 people coming in to listen to you with such patience at this is only possible because of COVID and nothing else. So I think this is our opportunity to brainstorm good things, good ideas, and we have these great minds that you all are. And I would personally would like to thank Gunjan, you especially for moderating this in a really wonderful manner.
Thank you,
Sonali,
Ashok Bhai.
for giving all your thought processes. I have made a lot of notes, and if I start reading that, it's going to be another 10 minutes. And Shweta, for all your insight. Abhishek Rastogi for his great ideas that he has always utilized in practical sense. And Abhishek Raniwala for his real insight on the combination he does from Chadao to contemporary and the way in which things can happen and change. And Hemant Bhai for those pictures that he sent me in the morning, which I never understood. Now I realize what he's actually doing sitting at home. But any which way, we are all a team, and MindSpeak thanks you for the wonderful time. Laksh Pahuja ji, he's a guru of all the artists put together. My God, I think I would call him actually a Leonardo da Vinci, who actually used to sit and imagine how planes used to operate, and that's the way he designs his jewelry also.
Love it.
Amazing team.
Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you so
thank
much.
you all for attending. Tomorrow we have a wonderful session, actually a samvad, and with none other than a person from the government who is the head of, is a BJP spokesman, who is also past the union minister, Syed Shah Nawaz Hussain.
Okay.
We all meet again at 2 o'clock.
Sure.
We're going to do a discussion about Ek Nayi Soch, and let us all listen to him. He's going to speak for about 40-45 minutes, and then we shall have an interaction with him on a one-on-one. So till then, you guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
And yeah, in case some didn't have their lunch, please have them fast.
Thank you, Avinash Bhai. Thank you, Hemant Bhai.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all six of y'all. Y'all were
Hemant Bhai.
Yes.
One card, Valentine card for me. All right.
Sure.
Thank you, Laksh.
On a very light note, Bhabi or somebody else, you are so insistent on this particular card.
Yes.
Hemant Bhai, no favors to anyone, huh?
सबको मिलेगा.
हाँ, सबको जो देगा तो सबको देना पड़ेगा.
सब याद करके वैलेंटाइंस के एक हफ्ते पहले मुझे मैसेज भेज देना तो
Exactly.
Perfect.
हेमंत भाई एक हफ्ते पहले गर्लफ्रेंड्स को मैसेज भेजना पड़ता है. आपको
तेरे को तो एक ही चाहिए यार.
Okay, done. Okay, it was pleasure having you.
Thank you everybody.
Thank you.